I'm reading from the Healing Wisdom of Africa from Malidoma Patrice Some, and he makes this right here under Maintaining Community Through Ritual. It says, every Westerner who visits my village leaves with one thing, and that is the experience of the intensity of human connection and attention. It is not the magic, the ritual, or the ceremonies that are done, but an awareness of the intensity of human connection that they take away. This is what makes them long to return again, because that is what they don't get here. He's talking about in the West. What would it be like if that intensity of human connection could be found here, in addition to all of the material wealth that is available? If the human wealth could match the material wealth, what would happen? Heaven could be created right here. It could be. It really could be. I think about community a lot. The community that we had, which were the remnants left of African communities. We used to have the elders in our presence. The elders were not separated from the young. The building that I grew up in, it was 31 stories high. And in that 31 stories, there were so many elders. I could still see the face of Miss Imogene. I could still see the face of Miss Ruffin. I could still see the face of so many elders, some of them whose names I do not know. But I remember seeing many of them. A lot of them were in wheelchairs, but they were still present. Nowadays, you see those elders now strolled into nursing homes. They're no longer in our midst, but we miss those glares from our elders. The glares and the words of wisdom and correction from our elders that sometimes stuck in our head and caused us to go the other way because we thought about, oh my God, what if Miss So-and-so saw me? What if Miss So-and-so told my mother? And it was always an elder woman. The men, they pretty much just moseyed along and mind their own business, but the women, oh, they were in our faces. So we had that community where we also used to keep our doors unlocked. We would go in and out of each other's houses and borrow things from each other. This one might have had the sugar, and this one might have had the flour. This one may have had the eggs, and this one had rice, or this one had salt. And it was never a problem. We also used to get milk delivered to our front door, and this is in Brooklyn, New York. They used to leave milk fresh from the farm in these glass bottles on the stoop, and we would have fresh milk. And so when I think about community, and I get sad about it because young people nowadays are looking for something that we once had. The young men were healthy. Their fathers, a lot of them were still dealing with the repercussions from being in the Vietnam War. So a lot of the fathers were on drugs or alcoholics. At least my uncles were. So they were absent. All we really had was the mothers. The government supported us as long as that man was not in the house. Yeah, we had food stamps. We had just hard times. But one thing we did have was unity and community. There was no one really elevated above the other. And this is the trick. And this is how we end up losing our community. When you get money and you get some sense of education, you tend to look at the people back there in the community as nothing. Do you know how much we got from that community? The resilience. But one thing we did have in that community was a sense of love, a sense of belonging, and that changed the community in ways that we're still trying to repair from. Malidoma Patrice Some talks about initiation and community. This is something that we still had remnants of it in America in Black communities, but someone realized the strength in our community and what we could possibly produce in that community. I think it's important that we find ways to start our own organizations for our youth, to give them a place so they can get a sense of belonging and they can be around people that understand what they're going through. There's so many dynamics when your parents are trying to make a way because the things that they're going through, it affects that youth and makes it a little hard for them to receive from the community because what's going on in the house is real. So you may have a goal of building your house, but it's easier if we could somehow come together in our families so that we can get to that goal. Always remember the foundation. Always remembering that this is what got us here. And one thing I love about us as a people is our resilience. It's just like when you try to kill off a colony of ants and they rebuild and they keep multiplying. You can't get rid of them. They keep coming back. That's just an analogy, but that's who we are. That's who we've always been. No matter what happens, I think we have to remember that our strength, our spiritual strength that keeps us going on, our foundation, our ancestors who are behind us, who are backing us, they are still here with us, supporting our every step. It's important that we understand that. And if we want to know a little bit more about that, read The Healing Wisdom of Africa by Malidoma Patrice Some, where he talks about the elders and the importance of the elders and your ancestors. And he even talks about how to build a little shrine to acknowledge your ancestors, to call on them, to speak with them, to commune with them. And it's not very hard to do. So I just want to encourage you to read in this book of wisdom that has helped me and has really, really, really comforted me in so many ways. So it's a book that I will never put down. It's always something to share in this book. So I thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a wonderfully blessed day. Peace and blessings.